here's the thing. We're going to start out, as sometimes we usually do, going back in time a little
Ooh.
bit, as we skip around in events a lot during solo sessions. However, we will be jumping to the present, and I didn't know attendance wise, but perchance there might be a little bit of combat tonight,
Oh.
and mayhaps if you would like, I would certainly not leave the option away from you, Brian, if you would like to hop in as well. I don't want to make this an official explanation of a character, and combat is certainly not going to end tonight.
Right.
But it may expand.
That's completely up to you guys. I mean, this is Mustang session, so.
Oh, I am
Okay.
more than happy to have you, and especially if it's like you're there. You know, it wouldn't make sense to
Yeah.
pretend that you're not there, especially if you're here in the call. Like, might as well play it out how it would play out.
Yeah, it's fine with me. If it gets to that point, I'm here.
It's up to you. I have it planned where it can do it with or without you, as I didn't want to make you reliably here or force you to be here if you had somewhere else to be. But
Oh no, I'm
I
good.
figured I'd leave the opportunity open for someone who has had to miss a few sessions in general. So.
I'm off tomorrow, so I can stay up till 2 in the morning.
I don't know about making that commitment right now,
Yeah,
but
that'll work.
but samesies. Cool. So we will pick up tonight, not at the Golden Cutlass, not in the midst of a deadly fight, one that could potentially be the end of Mustang Strums, or it could just be another memory amongst the very large and almost unending collection that you have gathered over the years. Instead, we go back only about 5 to 10 minutes in time. Back to when Mustang was upstairs by himself in a room having some sort of, not hallucination or vision, but some deeper calling from within. First, a word of warning. You don't know whether from yourself, from the spark, or just that natural humanoid sixth sense that you were being watched. But even in the midst of combat, your mind wanders, and you are left with the question of what is happening to you? Why is this happening to you? Not just the hunt. That you might have answers for, at least a semblance of understanding. The warning of why different factions, brotherhoods are in town. Even then, you could maybe find answers. Why Mustang strums on a random day, at a random time, in a random location, suddenly began to combust, billowing out smoke far more than usual, heat rising to a temperature that would kill any normal humanoid. Moments flash within your, at least, mind's eye in this moment. As you desperately search for answers. Mustang, can you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
Sir, yes, sir. First roll of the night. Let's see.
This will decide how it
baby!
goes.
A 10.
Wonderful. There's no immediate response from your mind, not a logical one at least. You worry this is the sparks doing. You worry that this is some sort of rejection, calling card to show that you're in danger, something out of your control. You black out and you wake up in the desert. As previously described, sky blackened, full of ravens, slowly beginning to almost leak this black ichor upon you, this black liquid of unknown substance, covering what once were almost golden dunes, now matte black and almost like leaking puddles of the void. You saw them dive down to you, claws extended, beaks open. You also found, in the same way it has once before, the voice reached out to you. It gave you an easy way out. It gave you an option. A sense of reliability is not something that Mustang Strums has had a lot of in recent history. Certainly not a lot of in your past. Going back to the present. Undead skeletal form covered in shrouded mist. Using a similar weapon to yourself. A new figure appearing. Unknown of whether they are ally, enemy, unrelated, protector. And an old face. One that you might not have expected to have seen. Certainly hoped not to in this context. Seeing this in a moment of intensity, in a moment of weakness, sickness, and in a state of near volatility, a breaking point. Mustang Strums does something that you have almost never done before. In the middle of combat, in the middle of a duel, one of which you've been in a few, you black out. As you see this figure doing battle with the creature behind you, your eyes blink a few times. That feverish feeling intensifies. The world starts to spin. And when your eyes open, you're no longer the Golden Cutlass. You hear waves slowly crashing on a shoreline. You look up around you and you can see blue skies painted with some clouds every now and then. A familiar sight as you view the rest of your surroundings. Doing a full 360. This is somewhere you haven't been in a very long time. Someplace you're quite familiar with. And you hear a familiar voice call out. I don't think you're supposed to be paid to lie on a beach all day. Mr. Strums. As you see Matic strolling over to you, horse reins in hand. With their semi-metallic face, you know of which has been crafted to have human expression, but still limited of it. So you're always trying to guess exactly how angry, annoyed, excited, whatever their emotions might be. But in this moment, you know, you haven't been doing work for a few hours. And this is not happy. Settlements don't start themselves. People don't follow orders. And random crew don't go missing when they are hired to do a task. So would you like to explain yourself, or am I to simply report back to the Floor Alliance that you have been all but useless in this current endeavor? Perhaps ask for Dr. Pay, or gee, I don't know. You should just be removed so that I could maybe do my job without having to also babysit.
So you said Mustang's laying down in the sand?
Mhm.
Is he cognizant of what just happened, that he's not quite where he should be, or does it all kind of blend seamlessly?
You still are very well aware, excuse me, that a few moments ago you were just fighting an undead creature in a completely different place in the world.
Okay, that is important. All right, so
But you're also still aware that this is a memory. Unsure of to what extent your mind is going through at the moment. But this feels real. It's not exactly like you're looking and watching a movie. You're in it, but you're also aware that something else is going on.
okay. So he scrambles to his feet. There's fear in his eyes as he's looking around and taking in his surroundings, and then his eyes fall on Matic, and he blinks like an idiot before processing everything that he just heard, and he's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. What you can get done in 8 hours, I can get done in 4, so maybe you can't lay on the beach, but I can.
You hear whirring as the head tilts and the eyes narrow, and there is a very long pause. If you are that efficient at work, that means there's more of it to be done. Not that you can slack off for the rest of the time. You are not paid to do so. Even then, how did you get it done so quickly? I mean, no, that's not... Listen. You are both here. As protection, as law, and someone to help keep order within town. Just because your unit and the people that have been assigned to you might have finished their work faster than the others does not mean that you can give them the day off and you go slack off on a beach. Doing what exactly? I know this is a desert wasteland, but they don't... I mean, come on, man.
You know, maybe you should try it. You seem like you're short-circuiting a bit there. It might do you some good to just take a load off for a second.
How many civilizations have you built? None. How many have I built? None. How many are we in charge of making? One. Doesn't have to be a big number to be a big problem, and I have the world of expectations on my shoulders at this moment. So I apologize if I seem harsh, but responsibilities are currently bore upon my shoulders, and I have no other person here that I am quite as familiar with as you, and you happen to be going missing throughout the day on your various adventures around an island of absolute nothing.
Mustang leans forward in anticipation of letting out a witty quip, but he stops and he thinks for a moment and he, assuming he has access to all his memories.
At least the current, up to the point that you currently had in the campaign, yes.
Okay. When he talks about expectations, he stops and he sighs and he's, okay, well, what do you want me to do? If it's that important, I don't want you, I don't know, starting to smoke from the ears or something. That's my job.
Was that organic enough for you to tell that's a laugh?
A wonderful imitation.
Thank you. We're headed up north into one of the more unexplored parts of land that has not yet been charted. You simply just have to be there. I will take all of the cartography, I will make sure all of the building plans and any sort of actual work to be done is handled. I just need you, and he looks down towards your belt where you can see the Primonica still holstered. I need you and your expertise just in case there are any problems, or in case any workers are unsatisfied with their conditions, pay, or the fact that they're trudging out in 90-degree weather to survey land.
I think there's one other important job that I have that you forgot to mention.
And that is?
I'm gonna help you work on that laughter protocol. Sheesh.
I was not made for jokes. I was made as a useful tool to be efficient in any scenario. Comedy was not one of them. And I sincerely doubt, no matter how hard you try, I will not break. We fast forward a month into the construction of a small but growing civilization. You find yourself sitting in one of the probably worst cobbled together bars you've ever been in your life. Then again, it's barely a town, never mind a functioning society yet, so you make do. And sitting next to you, Matic, holding a drink in his hand, looks at you, looks at the glass, looks at you, looks at the glass, and downs it. So is the entire joke that I am a construct drinking poison that would cause a humanoid to become intoxicated, and that you are a ghost woolly figure made of smoke who can somewhat be corporeal in the form of coal, also drinking? Are we just supposed to be a joke together? Or are we supposed to make jokes to make people laugh? And you see at least two other people in the bar at the same counter, just snickering and trying to like stifle it slightly because these are your underlings. And you can see one of them's really failing to do so.
Well, I think the joke is that you're thinking about it so much. I'm not here to make anyone laugh. I'm here to have a good time. And, maybe you would if you didn't think about what others thought so much.
I have a very literal understanding of things, and all you've given me so far in this. I don't even know how long we've been here. Actually, yes, I do exact days time, but you get the point. It feels like we've been here for longer. You said it was your job to work on my expressions and to help me be more like others. So, how can I not worry about what other people think of me if I'm supposed to be like other people? That's contradictory, my friend. Boom. Roasted.
Uh, Matt, if that's all you gleaned from what I had to say to you back then, I think we might have had a very sore misunderstanding. You don't need to be like anybody else. You just gotta be more like yourself instead of a, I don't know, obnoxious rules lawyer.
A rules lawyer. You are meant to be an appointed sheriff of this town with me in order to run and maintain civility within people who are currently acting like animals. It is in our job description to enforce rules. Whether I'm a lawyer in a court of law, obviously that doesn't make sense. I need to understand that portion of the job. Oh, you mean like someone who enforces? Okay, I get it now. But you get the. My joke is, we are literally lawkeepers. And yet you say you don't like me when I am a lawkeeper, yet that is my job, that's your job, that's our job. As previously stated, boom, logically roasted.
You see a Mustang. He looks at Maddox, exasperated, and then he looks back down to his drink, and he just throws black whatever terrible plonk they're serving.
Like, can you even get drunk? Is that possible? How does that make humanly sense? You're made of smoke, you don't have a circulatory system, you don't have a liver, you don't have an esophagus, you don't have lungs. How do you process any of this? Like, how does it go through you? Does it just plap onto the floor? Oh, it plapped onto the floor beneath you. And you see just really shitty whiskey just sapping down the chair, running down, and just slowly dissipating into the now sticky floorboard beneath. What is the purpose of this? It makes no sense.
You want the funny answer or do you want the real answer?
I mean, your dealer's choice.
Well, my funny answer is that it makes me more fun at parties, and that's why sometimes I'm over there with them and not all by myself with you. The less funny answer is that, I don't know, just makes me feel more comfortable. Like I'm more alive than I really am.
And were you once alive? Or have you just always been this? It just kind of gestures to you.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've always been this, good old Mustang Strums. It's kind of like asking, what were you before you were made? Were you just a box of parts? Do you really know?
I asked you the question. All right, you don't get to. We're two different things. All right, you act like you're human. I act like I am an utterly artificial created construct, simply made out of a whim of a man who has everything in the world but chose to give random box of parts consciousness. I don't remember anything until I opened my eyes for the first time. There's my answer. What's your answer, Mr. Side Remarky? I need to work on my nicknames, I know, yes.
I think you put it quite succinctly that I don't remember anything until I open my eye.
Well, where did you wake up slash open your eyes then, because you still never even told me a single thing about yourself, despite you constantly questioning where I come from, how I work, how I operate, all of my lovely owner's details, which of course I keep hidden as per his request, but you just keep to yourself.
I don't really know where I woke up, but God, it was somewhere beautiful. These red canyons that stretched into the sky like tallest castles that you've ever seen on Paradise Peak or The Dwellers.
Hmm.
And
Castles.
yeah, that's the closest thing I could compare them to. It was gorgeous. And I don't know. I guess wherever that was, it was a hell of a nice place to wake up because I fell in love with the land. I think that helped guide me to where I am now.
I see. And why aren't you waking up right now? You see the vision of Matic fades. Darkness consumes you. As much as you closing and opening your eyes this time, it's as if you've been shunted. In the same way that you feel with teleportation spells, expedited movement, anything that forces you outside of your will to be relocated, you feel the same for your consciousness. Except this time, it's not a pleasant memory. Standing on a cliffside, red sand beneath you, a woman slowly walking up to you. You can see your both clothing and somewhat materialized body at this moment, covered in bullet holes. As she approaches, you can see a look of not just disdain, but genuine hate. How long did the great Sheriff of Tom Cruise think you could run from me? You steal my gun? You take jobs with the Flora's Alliance? What kind of fucking traitor are you, Mr. Strums? That you would drag me all the way out here to this no-name hellhole just to get back my gun. I don't have enough understanding of the common language to tell you all my grievances. But I do know just enough words to tell you what this means. She throws a small bundle onto the red sand in front of you. And you can see, partially unfurled, the Chained Collector's logo and a somewhat smoky drawn portrait that you can't fully make out the figure of. But you're not focused on that as much as the words dead or alive right at the bottom, along with a bounty of 15,000 gold.
Whoa.
So you tell me how it's gonna be. We gonna flush that out to every shithole bar, all Paradise Peak, Port Cliff, Opal Orchard, Midnight Rose. Flora's Alliance will take this just as much as the Chain Collectors, honey. So you gonna do this the easy way? See, she cocks the revolver. Or we're doing this the hard way.
Is this Belle?
This is Bell, sure. I don't want to say Bell Sugar.
Ugh.
Apologies.
uh, Mustang's hands will float over to his hip and he'll be like, "Oh, sweetheart, you of all people should know I like things rough." And he's gonna get ready for a fight.
Both of you preparing to draw. Eyes narrowing. You already taken shots beforehand. Nothing is looking good for you. However, you get that itch. That burning sensation in your hand. Go ahead and make me a history check.
Oh
With
boy.
advantage.
Ooh. Okay. You're so good. All right. 14.
14?
Yes, sir.
Again, well aware of this situation and that you are reliving memories, but also your consciousness is still jumbled in between, melded to the point where in the back of your mind, you're thinking about the fight and what just happened, and you're thinking about everything in between. However, your mind suddenly thinks back. Ever since you've woken up, every time that you've gotten into a fight, specifically after you've gotten your Prime Monica, in the same very bet that caused your relationship to fall apart with Miss Bell, you've always remembered that this strange, almost itchy feeling would come over you. Each time you passed it off, and you never really thought more about it, as you're a man of smoke that doesn't really bother or have any concerns for conditions or any kind of ailment or injury. But now you just think back. Think back to the Revenant and Doug. You think back to Port Cliff, to Mimic Island. Think back to the docks where you were fighting all of the random heralds that were taking station there. The reasoning behind it you don't quite have. You just remember every time that you went to go draw your pistol, there would always be an itch. It would make you just a little faster than the person that was fighting you. 2 shots were fired, echoing across the cliffside. Neither of them came from Bell's revolver. You see blood piling into the sand. Both of her kneecaps shot out. Her pistol about 2 feet from her as she fell back, and you standing over her, Prime Monica in hand. Why don't you just fucking end it then? You cowardly son of a bitch.
Mustang is going to grab her pistol and throw it as far as he can before coming back over to her, and he's gonna kind of hop a squat and rest his arms on his thighs. I don't know, Belle. I quite like our little game of cat and mouse. It's a lot of fun for me, getting to ruin your day every time you decide to darken my door. Maybe one day you'll learn your lesson.
I swear to you, if you let me live, no matter where you go, no matter which company, name, person you hide behind, I will find you. Death will be the last thing I'm worried about when I do. That's too quick for the likes of...
And before she can finish, you just kick her teeth in. Boot slamming against the face, her falling into unconsciousness,
Yap,
and you saddling her horse, beginning to walk out slowly as the sun sets. A few years later, a stormy night. You're not quite on a dweller just yet, but you're making your way towards one. You haven't heard from Matic in a while. Concern builds, especially since you didn't leave off in the best of terms. But at the end of the day, you're a man of money, priorities of self-preservation and enjoyment. And also someone who doesn't turn down a job when an old friend offers. Looking to the bow, you see a man in full black attire, sitting, one leg half dangling off the ship, the other knee pressed against his chest as he leans forward. You walk around to his side and you can see, for the briefest of moments, one of his eyes, almost seemingly glowing in the darkness, snap over to you, and a white tooth grin expand across his face.
You know, one of these days, Mustang, I'm going to put a bell around you. Without those glowing eyes of yours, you could sneak up on just about any unlucky soul in the night time, couldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose you're lucky we're friends. And I'll come and sit beside him.
We're getting close, I can tell you. Sooner or later, no matter how far, no matter who you are, the jack always finds his scent. Catchy enough? Too much, too little. Trying to work on a few catchphrases.
Yeah, just hearing words out of you, period, is a little odd, but I think you could definitely use some workshop, and that was laying it on a little thick. We'll figure it out, though.
You know, my enemies don't really get to hear me very often. I think plenty within my head. So I was thinking maybe about bringing a little bit to the battlefield, but you're right. Work shall be done. You're up, kiddo. You see a light off into the distance. A galleon.
Ooh.
Slightly bigger than the Dragon's Vow.
Ooh.
Roughly 200 feet long. Not nearly pressing the length or size of a normal dweller. But for most people, it would be practically impossible to approach as a ship late at night without being spotted. Lanterns lighting up every railing, and you can see the cannon deck having roughly about 10 portholes that you can see on this side. For the brig that you're currently sailing on, you would probably last about 10 seconds before you sank. However, Silent Jackal lives up to his name. Minor bit of spell casting. And a hidden trick that he still never told you to this day. Your ship sails quietly into the night with nothing but a soft sound of waves crashing around you. Passing up behind the galleon, you hear, for a moment, a grunt. And you look and you can see Jackal has leapt from the brig onto the back. And you sigh, run, and with 3 large footsteps and a leap, you pass right for the wall, boarding the ship undetected. You remember only spending about 10 minutes on this ship. Finding the target wasn't the hard part. The hardest part was trying to leave the ship after finding out that some of the Gruali that were held captive within it weren't part of the mission. You remember that was the day that you solidified not just a trusted bond in the form of mentorship, a reminder that friends can exist even in this wild and crazy world of chaos. However, just like all things, eventually, all things good come to an end. His face flashes once more in your mind, and the world goes black once more. Where you next wake up, it is not of that of land nor sea. In fact, as you begin to piece things together, looking around you, you're in a space unfamiliar to you. and concern begins to set in, if it wasn't already there. You see clouds. Slowly passing over your head. You can hear the sea, but you cannot actually see it within this current sight line. The darkness is broken by someone lighting an oil lantern. Dark, nearly obsidian-like stone covering the walls around you. You see 7 other men with you, walking down, a few of them whistling, others striking up conversation. But you can see one currently speaking to you. And almost like after being concussed or after a loud sound or explosion goes off next to you, your vision is blurred and your hearing is impaired. You can't quite make out the words they're saying until it snaps back in. John? John? You phased out for there, buddy. What, are you good? Look, I know the fumes can get to you on the first couple of days, but trust me, you'll get used to it. And don't worry what the others are saying. Shifts don't happen too often. And when they do, luckily, we're usually out of the mines by then. Keep eyes on the prize. Do this for a few weeks, few months, maybe even a year. All those worries of yours will be nothing but a distant memory. Hell, I've been doing this for 5 years myself. I don't exactly live like a king, but my wife is doing just fine. In fact, we saved up enough money, we're moving to Paradise Peak next month. Maybe you come visit us one day.
Do I still only have Mustang's memories at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's gonna do the same thing he did all that time ago when he was having that strange vision, dream, something in between, and he's going to look at his hands.
You look down to see, in this case, what was once blurred vision and not quite something that you could make out in the same way that desert mirages seem to almost disappear right before your very eyes. Now that you look down, you can see darkened skin, weathered hands, and you see one of your hands is currently bandaged heavily. It has a little bit of a sting to it. The clothing that you're wearing is very simple. The shirt, basically rags, covered with a little bit of leather hides for protection. But everything on you probably wouldn't be worth not even 2 silver.
Oof.
But you were saying something?
He's just looking at his hands and like rotating them around to take in all the angles and the way that the flesh of his fingers crease and fold, and he looks back at this person that's talking to him and he's like, yeah, Paradise Peak, that's real great. Is there a mirror anywhere around here?
No, it's bad luck to bring those things underground. Why, if it falls or you walk underneath it, you're basically dooming us all.
Right, right.
What's the matter with you?
Uh,
Seem
nothing.
off.
I'm fine. I'm sorry. It's the fumes, right? The fumes. It's just getting in my head.
Rat fumes. I know you're stressed, kid, but take it one step at a time, alright? Begins leading you down further into the mines. We're almost like fast forwarding through a movie. You can just see hours of labor. Precious ores and metals are a dime a dozen. Hard to find for this world's terms. But that's not what you're mining. You see these almost crystal-like formations, varying different colors and varieties, but majority of them have either some sort of greenish or purplish coloration. Go ahead and make me either an Arcana check, or you can make me a history check as well.
Let's go history. 1 second. Sorry about that, April. Came in my room and gave me some garlic bread.
Hey!
Yeah, I know.
W sister.
19 for history.
19 for history? Okay. History was a slightly higher DC, but luckily that meets it.
Whew.
It's been a long, long time since Mustang himself has seen one of these. However, an odd job roughly a decade ago led you to an island called Mistrum.
Oh.
You never actually stepped foot on it. Simple guard escort mission. But you remember a curious fellow like yourself. Keep the cargo a little bit. With the justification, you were making sure everything was in place, nothing was being stolen. But you remember seeing a crate of similar looking crystals. Again, different colors. The ones you remember had the same structure to them, same patterns of crystallization, and how they broke out into these almost arrowhead-like shapes. However, the ones that you saw opposed to being this greenish, purplish color, one you saw was undoubtedly just purple. A deep, dark, almost reddish purple. You never learned the exact use. But in this moment, you are led back to wonder exactly what they are used for. After the day is done, you see this man, almost as if autopilot and you were simply just a spectator, walks back into a small ship. A number of skippers attached to the side. Him taking one off, spending roughly about 30 minutes on the open seas, slowly making his way up towards a large, nearly impossibly sized ship. Orchard. The signs and patterns of floral trees, flowers, and almost like a garden painted in a variety of whites, beiges, and almost grayish, a light gray coloration adorn the exterior of this dweller. And as you enter through one of the many ports that they have for docking ships, you see you make your way through a hustling and bustling, almost city street-like walkway. Walking for the heart of the ship, you see an open floor plan with various different shops set up. You can see benches and a small park in the middle of this almost what you could describe as a city center. And as you're walking through it, you see children running past you. You see elderly sitting around currently reading books together, and various different states of normal, ordinary lives. Unawakened people just like yourself, going about their day, growing old, enjoying the pleasantries of life. However, in the back of your mind, you also understand it's at a cost. As you make your way up to a room, out of the thousands that are available, the number that you walk up to is 507. One of the more dingy and not exactly lower side of the ship. But all numbers between 1 and 700 are only roughly about the size of a closet, if not a little bit bigger. You open the door, and you can see inside a number of smaller children who you don't recognize, but seems familiar to you. Running up to you, grabbing onto your legs, eyes filled with joy and excitement to see you as you set a bag of coin onto the table next to you with a large thud. You see a woman lying in bed, a bed that takes up about 80% of the room, which is no bigger than roughly either 8 feet by 8 feet or 9 feet by 9 feet, just enough for you to keep 4 people all under the same wooden ceiling in the same furnitureless room. And you can see all of the floor mats covered in a mixture of dirt. Strange, almost like paint-like stains, which you imagine is from some sort of coloring kit. And also empty bottles, of which, in this case, you can read appear to be some sort of medicine. As soon as you close the door, almost snapping back, you can feel yourself in control once more. As the woman's eyes meet yours, you see a soft grin cross her face. Is that you, dear? How was work?
Again, only Mustang's memories?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He has no idea what's going on here. So it's a wife and this is mom. He's just gonna play it cool. Work was it was great. Lots of fumes, all that good stuff.
What's wrong?
Probably the fumes.
You see
Hard
her
day's
eyes
work.
narrow. You seem different, John.
Oh, damn it.
Something happened?
Uh, no, nothing at all. You look pretty tired yourself. Have you been resting all right? And he's kind of looking around the room like, damn, this place is like the dumps.
Compared to the Golden Cutlass, this is past the point of poverty.
Swaller.
You couldn't remember having this kind of lifestyle since the very few weeks that you spent after you initially woke up and had literally no gold to your name. Well, doctor came by today. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be stuck on these, and she looks over to one of the partially filled bottles next to her. I'm gonna be stuck in these pills for a while until we can save up for greater restoration. But don't worry about me, I'll be fine. And finding a cleric on these waters is hard. Just focus on yourself, and I'll be fine. I'll take care of your siblings, and you're at work. Josie, she's learned a lot in school, and well, she's thinking about taking up a part-time job, help out. You don't gotta worry, John. Everything will be just fine.
Mustang's gonna look around the room to try and identify which one of these children might be Josie.
Sure. You go ahead and make me. What's your passive perception?
I think it's 17. Yeah, it's 17.
17. Cool. You see, there are two girls and a boy. Just going off of the kind of line of sight, when this woman said Josie, you take a second, look between the two girls, look back at her, and you're pretty sure you understand which one is Josie, as she looked a little too far to the right for it to be the one that's next to the bed. And you see she is currently in the middle of putting together what looks like some sort of stick-based house. Closest variety we have is today is Lincoln Logs. However, this is literally just sticks. There's nothing but yeah, there is nothing but little bits of leaves cut off on the floor that are currently being used to tie them together. It is interesting. But you would guess that it would be her.
How old does she look?
About 7, 8.
Mustang looks like he's about to like spit out water, and he stops himself. He's like, "Don't you think she's a little young?"
You started work around her age too. Don't worry, it won't be anything treacherous. One of the fine waitresses at one of the nearby bars offered her a position, cleaning tables, taking out trash, assisting customers.
Her? That's crazy talk.
She'll be right down the street. They won't be in any danger.
No. You know, if the whole reason that John, I mean, I have this job is to bring this coin back to you, then I'll just work twice as hard. She's much too young to be doing anything like that. That's dangerous, especially at a bar. You see the seedy types that are around here?
Honey, Opal Orchard has been nothing but a pleasantry since we've been here. It's just some city folks might pass through, but the law is very kind to us. And there's vassals stationed all over here. Nothing, no one would try anything. But I appreciate your sentiment. And I really do owe you so much that my beloved son would give up all of his time and all of your life for, well, just because I'm in this sorry state. You really don't have to do this, John, but I appreciate you. I hope you know that.
Yeah. Anything for you, Mom. And I'll go see if there's a shift I can pick up for a little extra, a little overtime. Don't let Josie go out there. I can handle this.
All right. Don't work yourself to the bone. It's fine. If I miss a few medications every now and then, as long as I keep up to my regiment slightly, I'm sure I'll hold out till we can move to Paradise Peak. Or we can find a cleric from there to help us.
Don't talk like that. We're gonna get you your meds. Don't you worry. That's what I'm out there for. And I set my mind to it, I'll get it done.
Alright. Well, remember, it's Bart's birthday next week. You don't have to get him anything. And you look down and you can see out of the two girls and the boy's currently asleep. Kind of curled up in a ball.
Little Bart!
You see the kind of what looks like once was bed sheets now are just kind of torn up little bits of a bed sheet that are made into a pillow. And one of them's wrapped around him kind of like a little swaddle or burrito blanket mode. And he is fast asleep. She looks at me and goes, you don't gotta get him anything expensive, but if you could just take the day off of work or even come home early, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Take him out to the park or maybe get him a sweet treat.
I'll try to get the day off. I don't know if they'll let me, but for little Bart, I will try. Who could say no to that precious little face?
Thank you. to black. And it stays in darkness for a long time. Long enough for you to begin to worry. And a similar transition once more. Lighting of an oil lantern. Back down in the mines and caves. However, this time, something's different. These memories are familiar to you. As you see similar walls with different markings in them, telling you the different layers that you would know when going down into a mine. They mark each one just in case the tunnels look too similar, so you know how close you are to the surface. You're confused on how you know that. And you're confused on how you know this is the level at which this gentleman dies at. Until you think back and you remember the memories that came flooding to you at Bob's. The random witch who made a offering to help get you back what could have been left behind. And you get a pit of dread in your stomach that almost feels like someone put an iron ball within it. As this is before the events that transpired. And you have the various different thoughts in your head of knowing what is to come. You see men going about their job as if not a care or understanding in the world is had, but you feel a rumble. A shift is coming. Your consciousness is inside of this man at the moment. You know he's been called John. You know he lives in the Opal Orchard. You have an understanding that he is or was someone. But you never really put it together before. As you look at the wall and you look at the beams, support beams, excuse me, that are currently shuttering, you see things that you didn't in your last visit to this memory. You see bits and wisps of smoke curling at the top of the rafters. As screams begin to holler throughout the hallway, and men begin to rapidly make their way towards you, as you're the closest one to the exit, the ceiling begins to crack. The stones begin to fall. And you know what happens next. You know if you stand still, this John, this figure who you aren't familiar with yet, reappears in all of your visions that you've been gifted since you've visited Bob, since you've met multiple individuals who know of the name. What does Mustang do in this moment?
So, as you said, I already know how it's going to play out.
You know one ending of this.
I see.
You feel in this moment you could run ahead. You could escape. Let John go back home. Have him take his little brother out on his birthday.
Oh.
You also have the understanding that if you run, the lives of the 13 men currently within the mine would be forfeit. There's currently only one person who has the strength and willpower for only a few seconds, but still for those few seconds to hold up an island. What goes through Mustang's head now that you see this unseen portion?
First, he thinks about room 507 and the feeling and the smell of opening up that door and seeing so many people crammed into that tiny little room, and the baby sleeping in rags, the mother surrounded by medicine, bedridden, and he takes a step forward. But then he looks around at all the terrified faces, covered in soot, just as filthy as he is. And he thinks about that guy that told him that they'd just saved up enough to move to Paradise Peak. And he looks up at the sagging timber of the support beams, and he grabs it.
Crashing down, hundreds of pounds of rock is just the start of what is going to change an entire island. But the memory plays out verbatim as it did before. An unnaturally large body is the only reason that an unawakened soul such as this figure could hold it for as long as he did. Built for hardship, through labor, through surviving in a uncaring world. You get a name that flashes through your head as one by one all of the men run past you. Men who was originally talking to you at the beginning of this memory. Mustang, you don't need to make me a history check. Because although it is not immediately familiar to you, you realize in this moment, as you look down at him, he is the spitting image someone that you'd met not too long ago. Alistair.
Oh,
His name was Alistair.
oh.
Although you knew him as Mr. Trevin. The lights go out. Darkness returns. As you feel your shoulders cave in, your spine collapse. And you feel, what death is like once more. Nothingness is a hard and profound idea to explain in words. Time does not abide by its laws. Creatures that experience death have varying journeys within it. Some pledge their lives to deities and go within their sanctum. Others, bound by chains for pacts, are dragged to the hells for eternal servitude. And some are merely just wandering souls, left to the universe's whim on where they end up. Your unsurety around death has haunted you for a long time, as you never knew how you died. Or you didn't know anything about your life prior to being Mustang Strums. Who Mustang Strums even was a hard question to answer. One you spent many years trying to. And in this moment, you find yourself being asked a question. However, it is not by your own voice, nor the voices within your head that you're familiar with. So many profound memories. An experience that many souls would wish for. Heroic endings. New beginning. And the story of how the Smoky Slinger was named Mustang Strums. But it is not what I am looking for. Show me the spark. Fire. Your eyes are opened to magma. Lava running throughout the earth. This is somewhere you've never seen before. Something that you're unfamiliar with. Even in folklore, Mustang Strums has heard of hundreds of different stories, worlds between other worlds, planes where creatures can sail for an endless astral sea, the binding hell of Avernus, so many different places within the universe. However, this one is not one that you call home or have any sort of understanding to, and yet you find yourself there. You see a man slowly walking in a realm of fire. Obsidian stone beneath his feet. Completely nude. No clothes, no equipment, no swords, no weapons, no guns. You see the way that he walks is with a stoop. And what you see is, to your understanding, the face isn't familiar, and yet you know him. You feel a bond, some sort of connection with this creature, even past what you felt when the spark has taken over you before, or offered its assistance, plagued you with its voices. This is different. This is something else. But you look down and you can see, in your current form, you are Mustang Strums. The smoky visage, the coal-like body, and wisps of smoke trailing out from underneath the cloak. You are you, and you have control over yourself.
Relief. Big time. Are there any, like, defining details on this creature that is pushing out of
From
fire and flame?
this far away, it is hard to tell. In the same way that when you, especially you should be familiar with this, when you are driving down a hot and scorching highway, how the
I am very
mirage-like
familiar with
effect
this.
blurs and creates almost that illusionary barrier between targets, between you and the target that you're currently trying to view. This creature is far enough away that with the surrounding heat, you're unable to make out any clear details from this distance. Nor does it look like they are currently aware of your presence. However, the state of being in which you are in, although you are slightly calmed by the fact that you are back to you, the feverish heat that had been coming from your body when you were conscious and in the fight still remains, and your mind feels slightly more hazy than usual. In the same way that when you are under a heavy fever, can't fully function. You are still able to control your body and mind, but everything seems like it is slightly spinning. Everything seems out of place for the moment. You
Hey,
still have your facilities. What would you like to do?
well, kind of looks around and seeing as he feels a connection with whatever this is drawn, going to do his best to stumble his way over there.
You begin walking forward, and you quickly understand what is you trying to move and control your body turns into a limp, a slow pace of what would normally be an injured creature, something you haven't had a problem with in almost the entire majority of your life. As you begin to slowly make your way forward, the creature is continuing to walk away, going in the same direction, unnoticed to you.
I imagine it's
Simply
moving a lot
follow.
faster than I am.
Not an overly pace.
Okay.
It's not running or jogging, it is simply walking, but as you are going about half movement, 30-foot pace to a 15-foot pace, it's not dramatic in the extent that it's overtaking you, but you are still within its view for now.
Okay. I think I cut you off. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
No.
Oh. Okay. Say I possess my faculties. Does that include my magic?
Yeah. You can try.
Okay, well, just as a test, he'll just point a finger off into the ether and cast Firebolt. See what happens.
Firebolt?
Yeah, bolt, not ball,
I
bolt.
have to always ask. You will never not hear me ask if it's fireball or firebolt. Firebolting off into the distance or at this creature?
No, off into the distance. Well, I mean, maybe he'll aim it like off to the side to try and get its attention, perhaps. But no,
Sure.
definitely not at it.
Go ahead and roll me an attack roll at disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
You really don't want to crit fail this.
10.
10?
10.
I don't believe that's a natural one for you.
No, I have a +7.
Fantastic. Cool. Firebolt sails off into the distance, and you hear a sizzle as it impacts against the magma and rock. The creature pauses and slowly turns around. You can see as it faces forward a humanoid silhouette, still roughly around 6'2", 6'3". Appears to be male from this distance, but still hard to fully make out as it has got about 100-ish feet on you at this point. But you have its attention.
Who is this invader in my mind palace? I'm going to keep walking now that it's not moving away from me.
You approach. And as you get closer and closer, you can see the figure becomes more and more clear till you see this. As you fully approach, the creature is roughly about 6'3". Dark of skin and kind of longer of hair, slowly spiraling down to about his lower chest, or upper chest, excuse me, where you can see it kind of falls into longer dreads. Small bits of scarring all across his body. And from what you can tell, pretty decent muscle mass. The overall form reminds you of somebody who has been in physical labor for a long part of their life, or has just been in the kind of more martial or kind of warrior-esque oriented in vassalship work that you have seen throughout your days. They appear to be staring directly at you, and without a word, just not looking you up and down, just meeting your gaze at, I believe, head level. Because Mustang's 6'3", right?
Mustang is 6'6".
6'6", right? So 3 inches taller, roughly your gaze.
Yeah, we're about there.
What do you do?
Ah. Okay. He's just gonna. Well, I imagine Mustang's actually a little shorter than him because he's probably all hunched over, limping, hurting, all that stuff. And he's just gonna kind of look at him and be like, "What's your name, son?"
You see the eyes widen a little bit. and their facial expression turns into a slightly confused look. I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Suppose I should introduce myself first. Mustang, it's a pleasure. I think you are inside my mind right now. What's your name?
Mustang. Did you call me son?
I think you're getting caught up on the wrong thing here.
Who are you?
Buddy, I just told you. Who are you?
How do you know my tongue?
Are we not speaking common?
What's common?
Man, this is the last thing I need right now. Could you just tell me your name, please? I would appreciate it very much.
You see their eyes narrow as they kind of look at you. From confused, the look turns into questioning slash look of almost mistrust. Who are you?
You know, I'm getting real sick of people asking me that question. My name is Mustang Strums. Been Mustang Strums for the past umpteenth amount of decades.
You. I know you. You're the man chosen by the spark.
Oh, you know the guy.
Your little light. Yeah. I thought you were familiar. Why are you here? How are you here?
I really couldn't tell you, but again, I would really, really love a name.
The translation is rough, but what you would understand me as an Ilbrum Ono. But
Is that your... Go ahead.
I still don't understand how you got here. You're not ready. You don't even know my name. You don't know me, but you're here. Why would the spark send you here so soon? You don't even possess his power yet. You don't even know who you are yet. It's too soon. You have to go back. You have to leave right now. You are not safe here.
Whereabouts is here? He's looking around at all the molten everything.
This is the beginning. You are ready.
Ready for what?
And you see he kind of puts his hand on his head, and you watch as he stands up, breaking the stoop, meeting about the height, 6'6". I don't know what doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why are you here? Where are you right now?
Now, I'm not sure I ought to tell you that I don't trust you.
Who are you right now? Who am
He's
I
gonna look down at
speaking
himself.
to? You are still made of smoke?
Mustang? Are you hoping for someone else?
Why are you here?
What can I say? Things tend to get crazy when I black out.
The man I am supposed to meet does not go by the name of Mustang. So you should not be here.
Well, I got a lot of freaky bunkmates up here, and he kind of taps his head. So maybe it's one of my roommates that you were hoping for.
No, I know what you refer to. This is not one of them. This vision is not sent to you by the spark. This is something else. And you see, he just kind of looks around, generally, eyeing the sky around him, looking at the wasteland-like rock formations, and looking back to you with a nervous eye. I was told the man I'd meet with would come by the name of John. Not Mustang Strums. It was John Amidala. So I don't know
Mustang.
how you are here. Go ahead.
He kind of just throws up his hands, and it's like, it's everyone lately's just been John this, John that. I'm so sick of it. Who the fuck is John, and why do I gotta give a shit? He's dead, long dead, and I'm not him. I'm Mustang. I earned my name, and maybe John was a son, a brother, a lover. I don't give a damn. His life, his virtues, his sins, they ain't mine. I am Mustang's. God forsook Strums, and I will do things my way. So you can take it or leave it, pal.
We ain't got no business here. Leave. And you feel almost like a forceful push of wind beginning to scatter Mustang's life force. The smoke that holds you together is no longer in the shape of humanoid form. It is simply blown away like a dust devil in the wind, separated. The hat and clothing all falling to the ground as your consciousness fades. And as you are sent back into darkness. Great enemy felt. That's funny. And you hear the voice in your head once more. That is not what I am looking for. I guess we are going to have to be more direct. Show me the beginning. You open your eyes for the first time. You see worried faces around you, staring down at a coal, almost burning body. No clothes are on you. You are currently in a grave.
Oop.
You sit up and you can see about a dozen people, humanoids, of varying different races, standing around, all looking flabbergasted. And you see an older, furbolg woman staring down at you. Eyes not of concern, but of curiosity. It takes you a few days before you can relearn speech. You understand words spoken to you, but you are unsure of how to speak. Simply writing down messages to respond. You wander almost around tropical-like terrain. An island that dwarfs the size of Port Cliff, but not quite as large as Paradise Peak. No humanoid or man-made structures outside of smaller, almost treehouse-like huts built into the sides of these nearly extraordinary forest. Trunks that are thicker than ship masts by far, almost as big as the same dweller masts that you've seen in the past. You see people walking around wearing all different types of clothing. Some in rags, others in beautiful dresses, and some in business attire, others in armor. But you can see all of them having this same symbol somewhere located on their clothing. It is that of what appears to be a rabbit. Meaningless in name. You question about it, and you see the Furbolg smiles. Explains to you. It is this faction of the Guralis family name. Those of the hares, the ones who run from danger, do not stick around long, and simply fight to survive, nothing more, nothing less. But also ones who are of a peaceful nature. The people who exist simply to help those they come across. You understand that every single member of this tribe came into it in different circumstance. You were the first of your specific situation. Or you are not the last in your memory to be welcomed into this wandering family of strange members. And it cuts to the first time that you open your mouth, that you formulate your mouth as you begin to understand your body. You hear the full Furbolg go, "Alright, is that better, dear? Try and envision it. Your body seems to be flowing, almost like the sea. But tides can be controlled. Rivers can be turned into dams. You may not know what you are yet, dearie. But focus. I know you cannot take a deep breath. But try and stay calm. And try and express in any way you can you're trying to say. Not using paper." And she takes away the notepad that you've been using to communicate the past few days. "I know you can do it. You've seen us. Look at me. Look at the way my lips are moving. The way I take breath. Try and mimic it. Come on."
He will make an attempt to suck in some air while mimicking the rising and falling of her chest.
The rising and falling of her chest is smoke being sucked into your forearm, kind of making a little skinnier of a waist, and then
and then just being released, and the dust kind of drops out into the surrounding area, and you see she just kind of coughs and laughs. All right, it looks like you can certainly change your size a little bit, but not what we're going for. Words, dearie. You understand common, at least as far as writing and reading. But articulate yourself in speech. Let me help you. And you see she takes a cloak off of one of the other members and wraps it around you tightly. And she takes the collar and kind of puts it up like how you see in some kind of vampire films, how they all have the upward collar. She puts it up and ties a knot with some string to make it tight. So your free-flowing body is given a more humanoid-like neck. Right. Try again. Words. Anything will do. What's Mustang Strum's first words being alive?
Oh God. He is very upset about the collar being flipped up on this cloak. He
Of all things.
finds that to be a very bad fashion choice. And he's gonna start grabbing and tugging at the collar, and he just croaks out, "Hate collar!"
And you see she kind of jumps with joy, begins clapping. He goes, right, not the words that I was expecting, dearie, but fantastic progress. I can fix the color. I was just trying to give you a more... I was hoping a humanoid neck could make you mimic speech and patterns a bit better. Color doesn't need to stay. And she goes, I think I got it. Disappears. Comes back a few moments later, and you can see the chest piece that she's wearing has a defined collar, but not pointing upwards. But it also has a belt that starts near the neck and runs around the body to kind of clasp on both straps for what appear to be. You now know this. It would be for weapons. In the form of keeping knives strapped to your chest, or could also be used as a semi-holster. But you see, with the aid of this on, and the belt kind of wrapping around you, you shift into a more humanoid form. She goes, much better. Much, much better. Welcome back to the land of the living. I don't know if you have a name or not, but we can find one for you if you don't. I've heard tales of people coming back from the dead in various different ways, or even wandering spirits making their way into our world, but never before did I think a dust cloud could speak. You're a walking wonder, my friend. The name's Fidelma. It's a pleasure. Time passes. You remember yourself beginning the slow start that is relearning the full extent of the common language. Learning how to properly walk again, how to keep yourself solidified so you don't fall out of trees. But also trying to understand yourself. Trying to think
to what you are. And it haunts you slightly. Not knowing the beginning. Not to the fullest extent, but just simply being there. Without answers. With so many questions. And you hear the voice. What was before the beginning then? What was nothingness for you? Your vision goes dark. There is a very long pause. What feels like an eternity. You lose any sense of mind and thinking. You feel no control over your body. You lose all worry for your current situation. You are simply existing. Without consciousness, yet present. Without body, yet somewhere. Existing in the present. And you hear a voice. It's a small bead of light begins to illuminate. What is this void of darkness? One hell of a ride. Certainly lived an interesting life, Buckaroo. Sinful. Downright damnation would wait for most like you. But an interesting choice at the end. People like those, without stories, legends, ones without destiny. They get to live on because of you. Funny thing. People spend their whole lives trying to keep on living. Continue drawing breath for whatever reason they find fit. And yet some for no known reason. Choose not to for ideas, purpose, beliefs. Countless reasons. Not all of them justified or good, but some. Some catch my eye. You ain't gotta be you. You ain't gotta bring on ghosts of the past, but I'd be interested to see what story you paint for the future. Hell, I can't bring you, can't bring you back, and I can't bring breath back into you, but in the same way that all creatures start. I can give you a spark of hope. We'll see what kind of flame you make with it. And you see flames erupt. The sound of crashing rock in the distance. Almost like a landslide far away is drowned out by the roaring flames of fire. And you can see smoke beginning to form from this. Taking a semi-humanoid shape. And in this dark void and expanse, as the flames begin to burn brighter and the smoke thickens, you watch as within the smoke, as it clusters together, not taking a humanoid shape, but taking a near solid, corporeal form. Two burning red eyes open. As Mustang Strum's eyes open on the floor of the Golden Cutlass.
Oh. We're back.
You see, currently, fighting on his own, the strange figure dueling with the Revenant, as it makes repeated attempts to both swing the oversized coffin in your direction and fire off shots of the strange-looking Prime Monica version, or whatever it has within its hands. You see both Matic, now, you hope in the flesh, standing over you. Massive, extended, metallic blade shooting out of one of his arms, using it as both a shield and a sword, deflecting attacks and pushing back its advances. But as you go to sit up, Beaver hasn't gone away. The burning hasn't gone down. In fact, it's only intensified. And that feeling of nervousness and being watched, you come to a very quick realization that although this creature was one of the many things that was triggering that, it was not the only one. Looking at the doorway, currently stooped within it, ducking from his height in order to enter. Not with a smile, but with a state of pure curiosity written over his face. See almost Veridin.
Oh.
No!
However,
Oh my god.
you don't see all of him.
What?
Fuck
As
this
you see
guy.
in his normal suit and his left arm fully intact, you see slightly constructed together a necrotic, glowing with green energy arm that Risha almost had come to use and
Oh.
bond with for the past couple of months. Sewn in with a mixture of metal and what appears to be some type of crystalline adherence to his right arm, pushing it into his socket. And as he approaches, not even taking a second to look around the room and take in the fact that he is certainly not alone, but just looking at you, you hear him call out, "I knew there was more to you when I first saw you. When I offered you that position, offer of work. No matter what you said, I was curious into finding the beginning of what you were. A man on fire, born from the spark. You don't even know what lies within you, but I do. And I'm here to help you. Help you part ways with it." And I would like you, if you please, kindly, please, if you haven't already, open up your character sheet and prepare for combat.
I'll be there. I'm ready.
Ryan, at this time, you are welcome to do the same if you would like to.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Very
Get it.
well. So, bring in an old friend here. There we
Bitch.
go. Go ahead and roll initiative for Amos. D20. It is a natural 19 on the die.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, that's funny. What's your dexterity modifier?
I think it's a +3.
I want you to go ahead and roll me a straight d20. We're gonna do rollies for this.
All right.
Because you have the same dex mod and the same initiative roll, so whoever gets this will go
I rolled like
first.
shit.
Rolled a 12.
Yeah, I rolled a 5.
Gotcha,
Oh.
gotcha. Okay, so
Yeah,
almost,
yeah.
for all intents and purposes, we'll go a 24 initiative then, first in the order. Now, before that, actually, and to give me a little more time to probably prep, let's go ahead and take a 2-minute break before we actually start, so I can both change the music,
Sure.
take a much-needed sip of water, and change my desk into sports mode, because I really need a stand.
Oh my
I'm
God.
actually super tired.
2-minute break.
2-minute
Alright.
break.
Be right back.
But how you enjoying it so far, Ash? Fan-fucking-tastic. All right. You Gucci? I know Brian is back. Actually, you know what?
Yep. I'm here.
I think that is just fine. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna use the restroom first. The little Cowboys room first, and I'll be right back. Hell yeah. Let me. Oh, it's already pulled up. Look at me, what a planner. Hell yeah. We Gucci, we ready?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think.
So, I'm not gonna. I'll tell you now, it's not gonna be too much.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
might
fine.
not even resolve conflict just because I don't want the others to miss it or have to catch up for it tomorrow. However, it doesn't change the fact that I can kill Mustang before we get to tomorrow. So,
Oh my god!
starting at the top of the order, Hitterbeer, descending. Amusvridium. You watch as he walks in and just kind of looks at you. Again, the look of curiosity, it's like when you are the only look that you can kind of relate this to, it's like when you're window shopping and you see something you really want and
Mhm.
something that just is extraordinarily interesting and unique. And he begins to approach you just kind of, again, wild shit. A fight is currently going on. Bullets are being exchanged. Swords are being clanged. Weird dude dropped from the fucking ceiling. And this motherfucker just walks in like it's a Tuesday and begins walking right up to you.
Dead ogre at the door.
Hmm?
There's a dead ogre at the door. We can't forget that.
True, he does walk past the dead ogre corpse.
Speaking
Thank
of,
you
is
for reminding
Matic
me.
gonna join us in initiative?
Oh, is Matic not already in there? My apologies.
There's Hieronymus
Oh,
Jackson.
I saw Hieronymus Jackson and I tabled it as Matic. Yeah, hold on, let me roll for Matic. Matic got a paddock. Let me go ahead. Herba. Ooh, well. Oof, Matic. He's still rolled higher than Brian. That's funny. Matic, for context, has a +0 in dexterity.
Say
he
those
is
cows
not-
are for show.
That
he
hurts.
is not a dexterous bay.
I have a high initiative, and I still rolled low.
The wonders of D&D and how
Right.
strong people cannot do strong things, dexterous people fail at dexterous things. It happens to the best of us. So, starting at the top, Amos walks in with a smile, begins approaching you. You can see, go 30. Okay, cool. He's not gonna walk straight up. But as he walks up to you, Mustang, he kind of calls out over the bar. And Brian, your character takes notice of this, kind of like at a side glance. You are unaware this person was here, also unaware of who this person is. However, you do notice that as he walks up, he raises the skeletal arm towards Mustang and goes, "At first, I was bitter. I am not a man who likes to lose things, but thanks to your friends, this is not a loss, but, as you put it, an upgrade." And you watch as he raises his hand, and 3 necrotic beams shoot out towards you.
No.
What is
jeez.
your armor class?
I think it's like 16 or something. Might be even less. No, it's 15. It's low.
15? Fantastic. How does a 22, a 16, and 24 look?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Them's the breaks.
So, you watch as the very familiar necrotic energy that you've seen Reese use multiple times in the past. It looks different. Opposed to the kind of spiraling necrotic energy, you see these are forceful, almost laser-like beams of precision. In the same way that those normal folks who cannot perceive bullets fast enough to dodge them or move out of the way, stuff like that, just see the aftermath of the bullet hole and the smoke left behind in its wake. You only see the small rays of light that fade away as 3 holes open up in your chest.
Oof.
And, oh, excuse me. Me almost forgetting to roll for damage.
Yeah, let's hear those Demoglios.
Um,
That might be it.
It's nothing crazy, because I will tell you, I wanted to add this as part of his kit, just because it was a very fun idea, and I knew that Caitlin would only hate this character, hate/love this character more. And he is that much of a petty asshole to do it. So it doesn't scale off his highest stat for this, so the damage isn't actually insane, but it's petty shit. He's shooting you with your friend's arm. You take 26 points of damage, force damage.
Oh, wow. Still up by some miracle.
And he takes a step closer to you, now
Oh.
getting within melee of the others. However, you see Matic, after seeing the 3 beams go into you, looks down at you and just starts looking frantically around the room. Go ahead and roll me history check.
Okay.
This is also going to be. No, we'll do this straight, because it would have been at advantage, but you have disadvantage right now. We'll do a straight roll.
Do I have inspiration for my solo session?
No. No, kidding. I actually don't think inspiration's ever played into solo sessions before. I'm going to go with a flat no for now, actually, yeah.
Okay. Well, I rolled an 8.
An 8. Cool, fantastic.
He's looking worried.
Maddox blind as a bat, motherfucker. But that's almost his turn. Before he can say anything else, it is back to you. You can see the
Okay.
Revenant looks injured, not necessarily on death's door. Again, it's hard to kind of tell since it is a skeleton, and it is covered in mist like you, so there's no outward blood loss or anything that can be seen. But it does look like it has taken damage, and like its robes are now tattered. You can see chips in the bones slightly, but now with a new threat, you got a whole lot more to worry about. What would you like to do?
Okay. You said I'm still burning up.
Huh? Your body is the hottest it has ever been in record right now.
That's pretty hot. All right. So, Mustang. He's prone, right? You said he fell on the ground.
Yes, you were prone. I described you coming up from prone as he approached. So if
okay.
you like to be standing, you can be standing.
Okay.
Unless you
Well-
want to be prone for the moment. I will not stop you either way.
I am just gonna say that he's prone because
Sure.
brother is
So you
sickly.
stand up.
Well, before he stands
Stand
up, he closes his eyes and he kind of turns inward for a second to just feel this heat.
Uh-oh.
Does it feel like it has to do with the spark?
Oh, brother, there's no describing it.
There's no describing it?
It is not like harnessing a power. It feels like you are sick right now.
I'm
This
ill.
is the closest you've ever been to being sick. And it feels like you heard the word combustion somewhere in there. Somewhere in the description. It's because it feels like you are literally increasing in heat over time, and you are feeling worse and worse. It is not something under your control.
Okay. All right. Well, he's going to close his eyes, and as he turns inward, he's going to mentally reach out to the spark if it's there, and
Sure, you can try. What do you
he'll
say?
just say, if you want me to trust you, now would be a good time to prove your worth. And he's gonna do something that I don't think he's ever done before.
Oh.
And he's gonna get up and he is going to lunge at Amos and attempt to possess him.
It is an unused ability that I love. Cool. And you're asking the spark to help with this?
Oh, he's just said if it's there, then you could help out. But, if not, he'll do it his way.
In the brief second before you do go for a lunge, you hear in your head, I thought you wanted to do things your way. I already gave you my offer. You turned it down, partner. But time for conversation isn't exactly in this moment. So, you lunge out and try and possess?
Yeah, my way.
Go
try and possess
ahead.
him.
Give me read the description, please, and thank you. It's a wisdom, charisma,
wisdom-
or intelligence.
It says wisdom or con, their choice.
Wisdom or con, their choice.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, I'm sorry. You're not gonna like the modifier on this. What's the DC?
I don't think it's anything crazy. It's kind of it's just 15.
15. Wow.
So it's kind of a Hail Mary.
Oh well, it's not the there's still a chance he fails.
It'd be really cool if he did.
It's just not high. Ooh, barely. That is exactly what he needed to beat it.
Bitch.
Yeah, he's a he a big boy. He's the biggest boy. So you try and lunge into him. You don't know a lot about Amos.
No.
Or the Viridian brothers in general. You just know that they are some tough motherfuckers that have pulled up on Paradise Peak, Port Cliff, and many other locations without giving a singular fuck as to who was there. These are some strong motherfuckers. He's not as easy as others in the past might have been to possess. And as
Fair
the
enough.
smoke kind of goes into his nose, you watch as he just presses his finger to one side and just snot rockets you out.
That's funny. Okay, and here's something that I figure I should mention. It doesn't quite say whether or not it takes up an action. There's no.
It should.
It doesn't say
I
here. So
believe
if
it
we
is
want to
an
say it takes up an
action.
action, then we'll say it takes up the action.
I'm 90% sure in the rough draft that I have it is an action to attempt to go inside of somebody. Not the wording that I meant to say.
Mhm.
It is the action to try and possess somebody.
Okay, we'll say
Sorry, I forget I
that's
have Megan in the call.
then.
I have to behave.
Okay.
So I don't. No one will. It is an action do, so yes.
All right. Let's play a little chicken here with the remaining. I have. Okay. So I'll say we will move to the other side of the Revenant.
You're gonna try and walk for the Revenant?
Yes.
Okay. You do so.
Oh, God.
I just wanna be honest.
Freak me
It
out.
is. You can move for other creatures using difficult terrain rules, though. Keep that in mind.
I might not have enough movement then.
You do not got enough movement,
I do not.
my friend.
Okay. Well, I could go over here.
You can. You absolutely can.
Yeah. Bonus action. We will cast Hex, and we're going to put it on Amos out of spite.
Sure. What ability checks would you like him to make at disadvantage?
Strength.
Strength.
Mhm.
Roger that. Okay. Just for the sake of sakes, because it's fun to include other people while you're here. Megan,
No.
do you have the roll 20 pulled up?
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead. Because the last thing that Wendell heard when he was told to get the fuck out, was to go for help. Go ahead and roll me a help check. This is going to be a straight luck check. This is a D20 roll.
D20.
You want the higher that it is, the better.
Y'all should
every
not
time
involve me
I
in these.
every time I almost finish a sentence, the roll's always just it's never what you want. God damn it. You gotta let roll
Alright.
20 hear what you need
Next
first.
time,
Okay.
Mammoth. No,
7.
no,
Cool.
no.
We'll cycle. We'll cycle. It goes to Matic. Matic, you see, looks towards you, Mustang, and is utterly confused. He sees the damage that you've taken, but he looks around and goes, Mustang, exactly, and he's just looking back and forth. What is happening right now?
He's asking me this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd
give a
really
brief
love to
response.
tell you, but I'm kind of busy. And he kind of gestures with both his hands to the Revenant and to Amos.
Cool. As you point to Amos, you see Matic turn and look him directly in the face and go, "What is attacking you?" And then it dawns on you from that failed history check beforehand of one of the known abilities of Amos Veridin is that he can take away the senses of creatures nearby. In your previous fight, you never fought him.
I didn't.
However, you were there to listen during the recap of it when Reese mentioned that she saw Kipley get grabbed off the ground by an invisible creature, and it turned out to be Amos when she hit him. So it kind of clicks in afterwards. You're like, oh fuck, he's
doing the thing.
yup.
Oh, fuck.
Your ally probably not going to be that useful against him, but Matic can fully see the Revenant and can absolutely gain advantage by flanking with this little friend over here.
This guy we don't know.
This guy whose
Yeah.
name was unidentified. So Matic is going to go ahead and zip zap zoobity bop with the push pops. That is a 28 to hit for the first one,
Nice.
and a 21 to hit for the second one. So 2 sword strikes you watch as the blade coming out of his hand kind of retracts, and it looks like he's going in for a punch. And as the creature kind of moves to dodge out of the way, the sword shoots out from a different position on his wrist, kind of catching him off guard and stabbing the Revenant through the neck, which would be a killing blow to most other creatures if they needed their necks. This one, unfortunately, doesn't. So he will take damage.
Their neck.
If it's necessary, I guess. This is gonna be. I keep doing underscore, not plus. God damn it! There we go. I know how math works. 18 points of damage. 18 points of slashing damage. Exactly the forbidden move of turning a lightsaber off mid-fight and then reactivating it. That's exactly what I'm going for. And as a bonus action, Matic is going to change from hand cannon to blunderbuss with his other arm. You see kind of like a rotating spiral of gadgetry. His left hand goes and switches from this current like pistol-like contraption back into a hand, and then the hand makes a clenched fist and kind of goes inside of his arm, and popping out is just a barrel, a kind of semi-extended barrel of a massive fucking blunderbuss. Can't use it on this turn, but is readying it for his next. Brian, that is you. Brian is fighting the character.
I am. Okay.
I don't know how to address it. I don't want to say the name until you say it.
I know,
Oh,
right?
no.
We're not going to spoil
We'll get
it
there
until everyone
eventually.
hears it.
Yeah. At some
But
point, it
it's
may
your
be a
turn.
couple months down. We'll learn his name. Yeah. Okay.
We'll learn it once we kill off
He-
this character too.
Yeah. My name was, and then he'll die. Oh.
Oh, please.
He'll just go ahead and swing again with his katana
Sure, go for it. With
with
advantage.
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 Good rolls.
Ooh,
23 to hit.
23. There we go. The katana finally hits.
And this is going to include the sneak attack to it.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
16 points of damage. Nice. You're starting to chunk him.
And
him up.
then that'll be his turn. He'll just stay where he's at.
You take the bonus action without using Flurry of Blows. You can just take a bonus action punch attack.
Oh, just a regular unarmed strike?
Yeah, because for
Oh,
the,
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I forget the actual name of it, but I think it's like just martial something.
Yeah.
Just the
I will
one
do
unarmed
that.
strike.
And I
Beat his
forgot
ass.
to- Let me roll it again.
I
That's
know.
just one.
New character to me.
20.
20.
Dirty 20.
Hell yeah. 20 hits.
And that
Roll
is
me some damage.
for 7 damage.
You are not at the level in which these are magical punches, right? Also,
I don't believe so, now that you say that.
I
It
realized
doesn't
that
say.
so long ago, Ryan.
Yeah.
I noticed it so long ago, but I'm not saying it out loud. All right, it's
Okay,
Voldemort.
I-
We're doing Voldemort right now.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's Is it the flurry of blows
Um,
that count as magical, but the unarmored strikes don't?
It's a
Is
level.
that how that works?
It's a level requirement. Once
'Cause
you
it
hit a
does
certain
it-
level in monk, you get I believe it's
It
called
counts as it.
key infused strikes.
Okay, yeah, I don't see it on my.
Yeah, I don't think
Features.
you're high enough level in that class.
No.
But still, it is damage. It is just slightly reduced.
Gotcha.
But the katana ones, the katana damage is in full. That is awesome. That's your turn.
Yes, that's my turn.
Fantastic. It's the Revenant's turn. And the Revenant, who has been semi-grappled with Matic and getting punched and slashed by a random person who has no idea who it is going to turn towards you, Mustang. And is going to say, no matter how many bodies you put between us, I will still end you. And it turns and looks at Matic and turns and looks at you. You care for this one. I can see it.
Who was he talking to when he said that?
He
Matic
looks
or
towards
me?
Matic.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll do more than just the job description this time. Reaches out with the withered hand and grasps towards Maddox's throat. Maddox is a beef boy, also has an AC of 19.
Damn.
So we will see how this goes. Well, that's a 20, so we don't give a fuck. Cool. So you watch as the hand wraps around Maddox's throat and a pulse of energy kind of enters within his body. And the...
Oh, wait.
Oh?
Could I actually use my reaction?
What for?
Is this an attack roll?
This is an attack roll.
Could I use my reaction for cutting words?
You can absolutely use cutting words. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have to roll still, because if you roll
I
a
will.
1, it's still going to hit.
We're giving it our damnedest.
So you need to
All
roll
right,
anything higher than a 1 on the die.
I believe. I rolled a 2!
That's enough. It brings it down to an 18.
Oh god.
So let me go ahead and delete that damage roll. We'll keep that hidden. Just as he goes to wrap around his throat, what do you say to draw his attention?
Think I'll just tell him that he's uglier than a burnt boot.
And that mixed with your magically infused power to influence those words and give them more meaning than just the normal insult that would carry. The head twitches. And as he looks towards you, Matic kind of backs away at the last second and the hand just grasps at air before he just kind of sneers and looks back towards Mustang. Very well then. The direct approach. Well, there was a moment where he could potentially have been stalled, but that's over. We go back to Amos. Amos. Gonna go ahead. What he gonna do? What he gonna do
Die.
to you? No. He good.
I liked where your mind's at, Megan.
He good. Let's actually start the turn by calling out to you as he calmly walks past Matic to get a better view of you.
No.
He calls out to you and goes, "You know, Mustang Strums, you are not exactly the hardest person to find nowadays. Both your reputation has increased and your status on Paradise Peak is such. I was worried that I would not be able to get this opportunity today, but when I found your guard within this tavern,
and I convinced him to go find you. I knew you would not be looking for me. You would be concerned about avoiding the green one. And then when the raven flew into your window, I knew you'd be focused on ill omen and not on keeping your mind protected. See, I have a way with people, convincing them on what to do. I would suggest, and he looks towards the Revenant, just kind of more annoyed than anything else, and goes, I don't care about that creature, but I suggest you come with me. Otherwise, that I would hate if you wouldn't. For you to show up in your guild hall and self-combust, killing everyone in there. Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw. It was referencing to Doug. He was described as green at first, but the art wasn't. That is
Got
know.
it. Got it.
one of the inconsistencies that came with Doug. But go ahead and make me a wisdom save, please.
12.
12?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We about to blow up.
And I blow up. You
Act like I don't know that.
you feel the god damn music pick up. That's what you feel. You feel the heat not reach a new height or increase, but you feel the volume of smoke in your body begin to condense. And the solidified form that you have begins to physically meld into an actual sustenance.
Huh.
What it is or what is happening, you're unsure of, but one thing that you feel is certain within your mind, because based on this ability, it does tell you, if you refuse to come with him, you now know the consequence of what will happen.
Everybody gets blown up.
Not here, but exactly of what he said will happen.
Yep.
That's his turn. Mr. Strums, what'd you like to do?
Fuck. Guess we gotta go with him. So he's gonna look at this big speech that Amos just gave. And he's gonna, once again, incredulously gesture at the Revenant in front of him. I'm busy right now! And two. Let's see. I guess we'll try and shoot him. The Revenant.
Shoot him?
Yeah,
Go for it.
shoot him.
The pop pop.
Okay, so that's a 19 on the first one.
19 hits.
All right, and second
That
attack is a
knows.
natural 20.
Ooh.
Ooh, we love some critties with the blickies.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we will.
This is just Primonica, not Big Iron, right?
No, it's just the regular Primonica.
Gotcha.
So that's gonna be about 25 points of damage in total. And then there
Okay.
is also the hex. So that's an additional d6 for those guys.
Hexblade's curse, not hex.
No.
Hex is on Amos.
Oh, hex is on Amos. I forgot. Never mind.
Right. Hexblade's curse adds your proficiency bonus. 'Cause you did Hexblade. You were right. You Hexblade cursed him, but he is not hexed. Can't have both up at the same time.
Oh, I'm not Hexblade. I just have regular hex. So it's just regular hex on Amos. I totally forgot I did it on Amos.
My apologies. I don't know why I thought you did then.
Other campaign.
Other campaign. Oh, other campaign. Yeah, you do.
Yes. But yeah, so that's
That's right.
25 points of Bullet.
25 points of bullet. Cool.
Get him.
And that will end his turn.
That's your turn. Cool.
Yes.
Do you wanna stay there or any movement?
Well, I don't really want to get risk swung on.
No, keep in mind you do have your full movement though, so if you want to switch sides with the creature or anything, you can move with difficult terrain.
I guess.
If you want to stay there, you can stay there. I don't want to try and make it sound like it's better to move.
I don't
Up
think
to
it
you.
really matters. Either way, I'm going with Amos. But just because you mentioned it, I will move over here.
And it doesn't even matter.
And can I say anything else, or have I used up my speech time?
You can say it one more quick thing. You just said I'm busy here, so I'm not really gonna
Okay,
hold you to it.
So he's gonna then look over to Matic, and he's gonna be like, "He's behind you, by the way. The other guy."
What other guy? I don't see what's happening. Cool. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's his turn.
Ryan!
Oh, my sweet cheese, my rotten soldier, mammoth.
Make me a Bwendel check.
Oh,
Do us
me? I
proud.
think you said Brian.
Yes, sir. D20.
All right.
It's not looking
Bwendel
good
check.
so
Oh
far.
shit!
Brothers in
No!
Christolinos,
Brendo
you
died, I think.
are selling.
He's having a hard time finding help.
I know. He's just Bwendel's just out on the street, and people are just like, "You're crazy, man. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? God, you're so weird."
Really weird right now.
Every guard got called to a gnomish band going on. This fucking
Exactly.
another Mave incident. Cool. That is Wendell. We go on to Matic. Matic has the cannon ready. You just said that he was behind him. So I'm gonna go ahead and just roll with disadvantage as he just wildly swings it behind him. He's just gonna take a
Oh my
shot.
god.
Is
Gotta get better than this.
Do you want to roll it? Or do you want me to roll it? Just 'cause it's
No,
funny?
you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
I believe in him. I believe in my boy.
Smash. First one's a 13. Okay, if he got a natural
Hey.
1, that would have been real bad. Luckily, he didn't. Sadly, 13 doesn't hit. You watch as he points the cannon behind him, and he chooses like the one spot that isn't occupied by Amos, because Amos is a big dude. He almost is past the point of which you can be considered a medium-sized creature. He is massive, and yet unavailable to Matic's sight. So when Matic turns around, he points the cannon going in a straight direction. And the cannon goes off, and a new hole is made in the wall. About a 5-foot chunk of wood is just splintered out as a miniature cannonball is shot out of the cannon. Is shot out of the blunderbuss sized hand can that he has, and just rips through the wall. And Maddox just goes, "Did I get him?" That is unfortunately all he can do with that. He is going to take one sword arm attack on the Revenant, though, because he can for sure see that. And he does still have advantage because of flanking. As a 22. Zip zap zoomity bop with the push pops. That's going to be 15. Nice. 15 points of slashing damage. Revenant looking a little hardy. A little girdy. That's
Pretty
Maddox's
girdy,
turn.
even.
My friend, cloaked in darkness and carrying katana, it is you.
Carrying katana. Let's just go ahead and swing again. I don't have a whole lot I can do.
Swing on him. Go for it.
Natural 20.
Natural 20?
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, that was a 1. I'm
It's a dirty
sorry.
20.
The other one was a 1. I thought it was yeah.
No. You're
saw
good. But I looked at it and I was like, if it was a natural 20, it should say 27.
Right.
Like,
That's why I started. Yeah. Anyway.
I might
Okay.
not be good at math, so. But... dirty 20 does hit, though. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yes. And then that's with
sneaky.
sneak. Yep.
Feels pretty good.
16.
Another
I'll
set
pass
of
them.
16.
Nice. We like to see.
And bonus action attack?
Um,
Or you got anything else?
no, I'll save. Yeah, I'm done. That'll be good. That's all for now.
After that, it is Revy's turn. Revy is gonna go ahead. I like calling him Revy. The Revenant is gonna go ahead, and just continue on his mission, to strike down and spite Mustang. That is gonna be. Doesn't get advantage, but he does get hate, and that is all
Does
that
get
matters.
hate.
That's an
Powerful
18 and a
fuel.
16.
They both hit.
Womp womp. Not kidding.
Honestly, this is better than almost taking me. I'd rather have this Revenant kill me than go with him.
Let me see. Don't say that yet. You don't know what happens after you get killed.
This is true.
Excuse me. I have to,
Oh, damn,
I have
this
to actually go
music's so
look that up
good.
real quick. Da-da-da-da. That's such a funny detail. Oh, wizards, you cook with some of them. Oh, damn. Okay, not good. All right. So you're gonna go ahead and take here. In total, 20. No, excuse me. I forgot one roll. Oh God. You're taking 32 points of damage.
Ooh.
And you are grappled.
Mustang's down. So he's holding an unconscious body.
Fantastic. Now we get into death saving throw territory. Hell yes. So this is where the fun begins, as to quote one of my favorite characters. Top of initiative. Almost. For one, concentration is broken, so your hex is gone.
Yeah.
But two, is here to do something. Unfortunately, that something is a little interrupted at the moment, and he looks around, sees that you have just gotten your shit walloped. As the two hits that he hit him with, is, I'm gonna say one literally just punches you in the face with the Prime Monica. Just kind of like back ends with you.
I got pistol whipped.
And the other one is the coffin for the final blow, as it just smacks you on the top of the head. The situation that he is in currently wants him to keep you not necessarily alive, but in his grasp instead of the creature's. So you watch as he walks around to the side, looks at the Revenant, looks at you, and both Matic and Stranger Numero Uno watch as he grabs the wrist of the Revenant and grabs Mustang's fleeting body, and is just gonna go ahead and attempt to pull them apart. It's gonna be a strength contest between a Revenant and Almost Veridin. Revenant, what you looking like? Do you have athletics proficiency? Nah, you don't. You're just strong. Revenant roll 19. He high. Almost, however, he is strong boy. So we'll see. 17.
Oh.
He not that strong. He tries to pull him, and the Revenant just holds on with just a look of confidence and sickly sweet enjoyment, as he is only a few mere moments away from completing his mission. Unfortunately, for the Revenant, you can make multiple attempts to grapple a creature in one turn if you have multi-attack. So I'm just gonna fucking do it again. Oh my god, he's rolling so low. Okay. Almost doesn't want you that badly. And the Revenant got a natural 20. Death's grip on Mustang Strums is a tight one. Almost fails to get you free, and now you can see frustration building upon his brow. And beginning to consider other options. Mustang, this is very important.
Please go ahead and make me a death saving throw.
Oh boy.
Straight D20. I'm getting dirt on me. Everyone wants a piece of me.
That's a fail.
What'd you get?
6.
6? Alright. Please mark down 1 failed death save.
Yes, sir.
Brian! Your 2 comrades have failed you and Mustang. Please roll for Hieronymus Jackson, aka Wendell. Straight D20.
Straight D20.
I believe. I believe.
You really shouldn't believe in your friends.
I rolled
That
a
was
5.
D12.
Oh, it
Oh,
was a D12.
that was a D12.
Go ahead and roll D20. Imagine. It's
God
lower.
damn it.
What the fuck?
It's so great.
I cannot believe this.
I cannot believe this. So, that turn passes. Matic is going to attempt to. He can't move through his space, can he? No, he cannot. He's going to attempt to grapple the Revenant. Take the strong boy. This is just strong boys all flexing. It's just a room of big muscled men trying to grapple Mustang from each other.
It's a good way to die. It's a really good way to die.
Jesus Christ! All of the NPCs are rolling so low, and the Revenant is rolling so good. All right, that is 2 attempts, 17 and 13. Okay. That's not even to grapple you, that's just to grapple the Revenant. So he grapples the Revenant, and he's going to go ahead and pull him away from Amos. So 1, he can help grapple you next turn. But 2, just so he can also just fucking get you out of here. That is his turn. What would our mysterious character like to do?
With him getting pulled away, do I get an opportunity of attack?
No, it's force movement.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, darn.
Oh,
Oh, darn.
Darny warny.
He will just run up to him. Stand up right there. And he'll say, "Mustang belongs to me," and he'll take a swing. He'll take a swing with his katana.
Go for it.
I gotta do it again.
Just see. Hits.
What the fuck is
22
going on?
hits.
Everyone in the club wants some Stang.
And then with the
Everyone
sneak
might want
attack
to fuck dirt
2.
on.
Everyone wants a
13
piece of that.
damage.
Everyone wants the smoke. That's funny.
Yeah, they want the smoke.
13 points of damage. Very nice,
Yes.
very nice.
Then I will do another unarmored strike.
Yeah, go for it. Remember, that doesn't cost you a key point. That is free.
Yeah, yeah.
22.
Sweet.
man.
Wow. Love you, new guy.
Wee woo, wow woo. 8 points
eight.
of bludgeoning. Very nice. Cool. Before the Revenant's turn, Almost Veridin is going to go ahead and take a legendary action. And you watch as he smiles and looks towards this creature and goes, "I think I understand what you are. I will need that creature alive for a few moments. But if you kill him, he does not return, yes?" And the Revenant just looks towards him and looks towards you and goes, "Absolutely nothing." It is no need to respond to him. But he goes, "I think I have better idea." And you watch as Amos takes the necrotic arm and is going to go ahead and make a melee attack with advantage on Mustang.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Everyone want me.
That is going to be
Who want me?
a 22 to hit
Yep.
and a 26 to hit.
Here.
Cool.
We're out.
Mustang
Is Mustang
is dead.
fucking dead?
Mustang
Mustang
died.
is dead.
man.
However,
Uh,
there is good to this yet. As Mustang falls into Death's cold, icy grasp, a few things happen. One, Mustang, as you were close to combusting, and close to reaching this strange fever-like state, which you now know induced by this man, and seeing the Revenant going to kill you, you watch in your last moments of consciousness as Amos smiles and strikes you down. Lights going dark. Consciousness fading into the sweet release of death once more. However, as you lay there dead, the last thing that Mustang hears, and that the other member of this group hears while within the Golden Cutlass, is as looking down upon Mustang with a smile, almost takes off the gloved hand. And you can see underneath it is this almost claw-like appendage. You see it still has functioning fingers. On the ends of it reaches into talons, and going up the arm is just scales, very much resembling a familiar draconic purple. It is a little bit more flesh-like than scale-like, and it is a little gross in terms of veinage. And you you can see, hey man, it is an accurate word, and you last saw when this creature was a dragon. It was not a pretty dragon.
No, he was freaky.
It was a freak dragon.
Freaking.
You watch as he reaches down and puts the clawed hand into Mustang's chest.
Bitch.
And you hear an audible crumble as the coal-like sustenance that breaks apart upon your death and what keeps your form on this plane scatters. However, the humanoid shape doesn't disappear. Instead, it breaks away, crumbling. And you watch for a brief moment as the bar is consumed in a flash fire explosion. A blinding light that causes every creature within it to shield their eyes, else go blind. A fuming heat that consumes every flammable object within the Golden Cutlass. No damage is dealt, as these are not flames that are meant for destruction. These are flames that the Six have seen before. When you went to Port Cliff,
Whoa.
not so long ago, and saw the counterpart of Broken Chain, Captain Jim Timothy Quinn, both come back from the dead and heal off wounds with a flame of rebirth. And as the last thing that you hear, the first thing that you hear when you wake up, and the last thing that will be said, almost looks down at you, smiling. As I thought,
So there is flesh beneath the stone. We'll pick up tomorrow.
Ooh.
I cannot believe this.
Nice.
We will pick up tomorrow to see where that ends. In all fairness, to the party at hand, we will pick up with a heist tomorrow, and we will jump back and forth as we did to Mustang. However, we'll get you. We'll get to you, buddy. We'll get to you.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I have
Oh, do
more
I?
questions and answers.
I know, so
Uh-huh.
I'm so confused.
Uh-huh. Oh, trust me.
Oh.
You're gonna have even more tomorrow.
Oh, brother.
For every question answered, at least 2 more shall regrow. Welcome to Hydra, motherfucker. Okay.
This is basically lost all over again.
I can't make it too obvious. Where's the fun in that?
Oh no, I love it.
But I hope you enjoyed your solo session.
I'm fucking
Yours-
speechless.
Yours went a little longer, but we had
We had a lot to cover.
we had a lot
It
to cover.
seems.
We had a lot to cover. Everyone else had like more early game background content. And Mustang was a Switch 2 character, so there was a little bit of build up to get there, but we got there. We got
You
to
know
see
what?
little
That's how
snippets
I
of
like
that.
it. Slow and steady.
Oh yeah. And Thursday being the day for a solo session is probably the best day of choice because now you get
I get
immediate
to know what happens tomorrow.
yeah, immediately
yeah.
without delay we get to get into all of this shit, including what happens in the Golden Cutlass. Not just
Oh,
you.
man.